Hello people, this is Mark from KharisChangeWorks. Guys, hope that you are well. Short story time. This one is quite relevant, I suppose, in today's society. So many of us are feeling a little bit despondent, and we sometimes feel that we need something to cheer us up. And sometimes when we get that something, that we don't necessarily appreciate its value, and we abuse it in various ways. Today's little story talks about that. So before we start, I'm going to ask you just to do all the YouTube admin, the share, the subscribe, hit the like button. Let's get some more subscribers as well while you're at it. Please tell all your friends and your family that this channel is worthwhile subscribing to. Comment, hit the bell, pickle, all the YouTube stuff. Let's get to today's little story, and I read. It is simply called A Man and the Pearl. A man who was feeling very disheartened went down to the beach. He found a shiny pearl sitting amongst the sand and the pebbles. It gleamed brightly in the morning sun, and his heart was lifted. I will keep this forever, he said to himself as he rubbed it gently with his finger and his thumb. The next day when he woke up, the pearl was there on his mantelpiece. His face lit up again. He placed it in his hand and rubbed it accordingly. Days and weeks passed this way, and every day the man did the same, picking up the pearl and rubbing it gently. His luck had changed immensely since he's found this shining pearl. Had a great new job, a woman who loved him, and a fast sports car. But something was bothering him. It had been 10 years since he first found the pearl, and whether he was making it up or not, he didn't know. But it seemed to be a little bit smaller. Still, he rubbed it every day as normal, and still it brought a smile to his face. Another year passed, and now the man was becoming increasingly concerned. He wasn't sleeping at night. His wife was staying out late. His work had become increasingly exhausting, and the car had been written off due to some drunk driver. Yet every day he rubbed his favorite pearl. Another 5 years passed, and now he was at his wit's end. His wife had requested a divorce. His job had been lost due to spending cuts. He had to take the bus everywhere, and it took over an hour to get to town. It was today he found himself back at that same beach. He took the pearl from his pocket and rubbed it again, but this time it dissolved into tiny grains of sand that passed between his fingers and out of sight. It seemed that pearls could not be rubbed forever. Isn't that such a true story in today's life? Reflected on how we feel in ourselves when we are disheartened. We are simply looking for something to cheer us up. And when we get this pearl amongst all the other stuff in the sea, we automatically change our emotional state, because now we've got something of worth. And so by him rubbing it between his fingers, he gained good luck. Things started to change. He got the house, he got the car, he got the wife, he got the kids. Everything seemed perfect. And it's a nice story because, let's be fair, when we are in a place of disheartenment, when we feel all gloom and doom and it feels like the world is sitting on top of our shoulders, we need something to help us out somewhat. For as long as the man followed his ritual, it seems on the surface that yes, this is going to last forever. And it probably would have. But here's the problem. Pearls were not made to be robbed. Pearls were made to be adored and valued, to make something of, jewelry, that kind of thing. You see, pearls has got a high value. The man missed all of that. If only he knew what he literally had in his hands. Yes, his luck might have changed, but he would have still had the pearl nonetheless. And it's maybe because he noticed that this thing was getting smaller as he continued to rob it, focusing on the pearl and not what it is, in terms of bringing luck rather than the value. And as this pearl got smaller and smaller, it affected his emotional state yet again. This time, instead of lifting it up, it's now bringing it down because his focus was wrong. Isn't it amazing that when we focus on the right things, that we find fulfillment, we find pleasure, we find satisfaction, we find our purpose, we find joy. And the inverse is just as true. As soon as we change our focus, our emotional state also becomes depressive. It becomes damaging. We become sad and lonely. Why? Because our focus is not on the right thing or in the right place. You see, circumstances will change constantly because the world is very liquid. And I've said before on other videos, we need to be in charge of our emotional state regardless of these external pressures that come our way, because life's good at throwing these curveballs. It's good. Life does this. It pushes us to our boundaries many a time. And it's when we are at our wits' end, just like the man in the story, that is when we become more desperate than before to try and find a way out of this depressive state, this miserable place. Let's be honest here. Being miserable isn't fun. Being depressed is certainly not fun. And as soon as we have this valuable thing in our life, we change all of a sudden, albeit that nothing's really changed. We've just got something in our hand. When we abuse it, and in the man here, he abused it by robbing it. He abused it by not acknowledging its value, not acknowledging its purpose, not acknowledging what it can be used for. He abused it. It shrunk, no doubt, in value as time went on. But it shrunk to the point of non-existence. And my friend, that is the power of abuse. If you don't deal with it, if you don't understand it, if you can't control it, it will erode everything that is good and positive in your life. It will erode it and you will have nothing left. So my question is simply this. Do you need a pearl? And if you do have said pearl, what are you doing with it? Are you valuing it? Or are you just going to do the, I'm going to abuse it, like the man in the story, not appreciating its value? My friend, there are millions and billions of pearls out there. Not necessarily the actual pearl. Pearls come in the shape of skills, friends, family. Pearls come in all shapes and sizes. The point for this particular story is don't abuse the thing that's helped you out of the mire of your life situation. It then becomes destructive as you continue to abuse it. In another way, what I'm suggesting to you is become acutely aware of your emotional state. You see, let's be fair, in this last, say, 15 months or so, it's been quite a horrible place in terms of what the world has gone through with this lockdown COVID-19 bit. And there's a lot of people who are feeling disheartened because of sadness, because of loss of friends and family, loss of employment and material things, and loss of relationships, whether it be marriage or otherwise. And we are all desperate for a pearl. We all need a pearl. And my friend, is when we are aware where our emotional state is, when we start looking for the pearl and we find this pearl, we can control our emotional state. But it's hard work, I can assure you that. I've said many times before, when the person who can control their emotional state, they are the strong ones. You see, when you're down and you manage to get up every morning and you manage to do the little basic chores, my friend, you are tough. The one who has it all, where there is seemingly on the surface no problems, for them life seems to be easy. It's a different ball game when it feels like you're running against the wind, whilst others are running with the wind. It's a different thing altogether. But I want to say this to you, my friend. There is a pull waiting for you. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope. My encouragement for you today is hang on there. Every thunderstorm eventually runs out of rain. For every night there's day. Every dark cloud has a silver lining, and so the little metaphors can continue. My friend, hang in there. Your luck will eventually change. Do you really need a pearl? Or is it more a matter of becoming acutely aware of where you are at and what you can control? My friend, start there. It's better. For whilst we focusing on all the wrong things in life, we will get disgruntled, we will get confused, because we will run according to every whim that's out there, and there are many of those, I can tell you that. Fix your eye on a goal, fix your eyes on something that you want to achieve, and press on. Eventually that path will take you past said beach where you will find your pearl. But please, do not be like the man who forgot to value it. Friends and family, these kind of things, as far as I'm concerned, they are the true pearls. And when you have someone who you could place your value in, your trust, you have a pearl. I am very fortunate that I have a small handful of people in whom I have such pearls. Laura being one of them. I have a few others. I shan't mention them for sake of not embarrassing them. So all I'm saying to you is, my friend, it's when you are at your darkest, as in another video I made fairly recently, find the light. Familiarize yourself. Do something. things do change. Things will change when you change your perspective, your views, your vision, your mindset, your habits, the way you speak, the way your social circles even. When you change the things that are changeable in your life, when these things change for you. It is a matter of fact. That's all I want to say at this particular point in time. Control what you can control. Change what needs to change. Focus on something. Do the little things. Your pearl is waiting for you. I just hope you value it as it brings value to you. That's it. Abusive behavior is always toxic. It's always destructive. And I want to do my damnedest to prevent toxic, destructive behaviors on everybody that sees our channel. That's my and Laura's dream, is to halt that spirit of destruction. There you go, my friend. I hope this has caused you to reappraise and reevaluate you and your pearls. It's vitally important. It really is. I hope this has caused you to think and ponder. And maybe there's someone in your social circles that you think, jeeps, I could do with sending this on to them. Do so. Like I said at the beginning, please do all the YouTube admin. Subscribe and share. All that stuff. Hit the like button, please. Comment. It's important. For now, this is Mark from KharisChangeWorks. I'll speak to you soon.